We are getting closer and closer and closer for the Titans to announce who their next head coach is going to be. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and the Titans have narrowed down their head coaching search apparently to 3 finalists. Just 3. And I think you guys can know specifically which is one of them. The favorite, well, it's pretty obvious, and it's completely annoying. It's extremely annoying because we all know who it is, and we all know from the time when Brian Callahan got fired all the way back in October, we had a feeling this was going to be the next head coach, and every single person except for the Titans front office has said, well, we don't want him, but we probably figure it's going to be. Who is that? Well, we'll talk about it in a second. But when the Titans make their head coaching hire, we will make a video. We got you covered right when the head coaching hire happens, so don't miss out. Go ahead, hit that sub button right now. And of course, here are your 3 finalists. Robert Saleh, which is a good one. I like it. There to go. Matt Nagy and Jeff Hafley. We saw a couple days ago that Kevin Stefanski got hired by the Atlanta Falcons, so that was going to be one of my top candidates that I wanted the Tennessee Titans, and he was supposed to have a final interview with the Titans, but he said, nah, I'm going to go to Atlanta instead of Tennessee. I like what their defense has. This is no surprise. I think Robert Saleh is a huge candidate to be the coach of the Tennessee Titans. I just hope and pray that he convinces them I should be the guy and not everybody else, because it would be a much better hire. And I ranked the 3 people that I think that should be in the rankings of who I think is going to hire. Matt Nagy, who I think is the favorite. Robert Saleh, it's who I would want to be the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans. And then Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. And I like Hafley, but I think I saw what the Packers defense was without Micah Parsons, and that's just, I'm like, it doesn't really pop out to me, but I'd still take him over Matt Nagy. But I do think there's one other candidate out there. You saw the tweet from Adam Schefter talking about there's 3 head coaching finalists, and these are the guys that are getting second interviews for the Titans. Well, there's another guy that had already his second interview with the Tennessee Titans, and this is in the running, and I think it's Mike McCarthy. And why do I say that? Well, because Mike McCarthy has talked to the Titans not once, but twice. It has been multiple times that he has spoken to the front office and had interviews. And this comes from Adam Schefter, who tweeted this out earlier this morning. And it says former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy now has met twice in the recent days for the Titans head coaching job. Once late in December in Green Bay, and then again Friday and Saturday in Tennessee. So I know there's 3 finalists, but I think that Mike McCarthy could be one of the other finalists, and that would make it 4. And you know damn well I'm taking him over Nagy. Because if you look at his resume, I mean, he's the former Packers and Cowboys head coach. Super Bowl champion. 185 and 23-2 career record as head coach. He is a huge offensive genius. We saw what he took with this Packers offense with Aaron Rodgers. And then when he went over to Dallas, he was perfect. He took Dak Prescott from here and elevated him to there. And imagine what he can do with Cam Ward. Imagine what that would be with Cam Ward. I think it'd be great. But if you go with the other direction, where I think it's going to be, I think they cannot hire Nagy. I've spoken about this, and I'm getting so freaking tired and annoyed of talking about this on every single video that I make about the head coaching hires. This goes all the way back to even when Brian Callahan was fired. You can't hire him, man. Why is Amy Adams Strunk and Mike Borgonzi just like, we don't see anything else, but we see this? Look at the statistics. This is Patrick Mahomes. One of the best quarterbacks ever. And you could see 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Those are all 4,000 yards. 4,000 yards. Great. And then you see the line where Matt Nagy got hired. Numbers go down. Numbers go down. Numbers go down. Numbers go down. He hasn't been good. And then if you look at the yards per play, just the offense in general, not just Patrick Mahomes. In 2018, they were first, second, first, and then Matt Nagy was hired in 2023. They dropped to 9th. Then they dropped to 22nd. Then they dropped to 23rd. It's not good. But then The Athletic posted an article about Nagy and his time in Chicago. And this is something where when I saw it, I was immediately like, this can't happen. This cannot happen. And I'll read it for you guys quickly. And here's where the story gets interesting. Mitch Trubisky, this is talking about when he was the quarterback, Chicago Bears with Nagy, to discuss the 2019 season once it concluded. He had notes of what he wanted to discuss with the offense. And then a source told The Athletic that Matt Nagy just didn't show up to the meeting, and Trubisky just left his notes where the meeting was supposed to be. And then The Athletic got another one that Trubisky would be in the middle of camp admitting none of this stuff as working and would point out the issues in the offense. Nagy and his trust the process mindset did not work. Trusting the process highlighted the same offensive issues, and that Trubisky, instead of his coach, was blamed for. Nagy proceeded to chastise Mitch Trubisky, calling him uncoachable and not throwing the ball to the right receiver. This reportedly bummed Trubisky out and bummed out his teammates. Specifically, Nick Foles stated that Mitch was really liked by his teammates, and that could have been the turning point that the turned the locker room against Matt Nagy. And then Trubisky, when joining the Bills, said it was nice to be somewhere where he was wanted. Some fans took that as a jab at the Bears, but really, it was a jab at how Matt Nagy treated him. Trubisky wasn't taken seriously by Nagy. He wasn't wanted. Nagy failed Trubisky. It wasn't the other way round. And I just say, what if this happens to Cam Ward? What if that exact thing happens to Cam Ward? Because we saw Cam Ward's frustrations with Mike McCoy during the offense, and he went to the podium, and he talked about it. Imagine he does that with Matt Nagy, and Matt Nagy's just like, we don't want him anymore. We don't want him, and we'll go and trade him away. We'll get rid of him. We'll get rid of him. That could happen if you hire. You cannot hire Matt Nagy. I will say it a million times. You can't do it. It just can't happen. But guess what? I guarantee you, in 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, sometime this week maybe, we're going to get the notification from Adam Schefter that the Tennessee Titans and Matt Nagy have agreed to have him become the next head coach. How much do you not want to hire Matt Nagy? Let me know down in the comments. Scale from 1 to 10. 1, you want to hire him. 10, get this man as far away from Tennessee as physically possible. Go down in the comment section right now. On the back half of the show, we're going to talk about a quick candidate that has become available because of the breaking news that happened this morning out in Buffalo. But before we do that, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into football action before next season. So close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if your picks are right, you could cash in. There's also a new feature on Prize Picks. Early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. You can find a community on Prize Picks. With a new social feed feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends, copy lineups with winners with a single click. And I got a lineup for this weekend's game. There's only 3 games left in football season, guys. I got the more on Drake May at 199.5 passing yards. I got the more on Cooper Kupp, 1.5 receptions. And I got the more on Devontae Adams at 3.5 receptions. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, let's talk about it. This morning, the Bills fired head coach Sean McDermott. They said, well, we lost again in the playoffs. Josh Allen is not going to the AFC Championship game. He is not having a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So somebody's got to be a scapegoat, and it's Sean McDermott. And I think even though you have named your 3 or 4 finalists, the Titans should have an interview with Sean McDermott immediately. And why? Well, because he is a great offensive mindset. I think that he'd be a great coach for the Titans, and he is going to be. There are still multiple head coaching vacancies open, and he's going to be a highly touted guy. But if you look at his resume, he spent 9 seasons as the Bills head coach. Yeah, his postseason record is okay, but when you play 16 postseason games, I ain't going to complain about it when you're the Tennessee Titans, and his career record is 648, 105-57 career record. I think that Sean McDermott would be a perfect guy for the Tennessee Titans. The players believed in him. The players supported him thick and through. Like, even when it was back, like when it was bad, when he first started, they still felt like, okay, he can take us back and he can bring us up. He is a player's coach. He is a culture changer. He is a leader of men. And not to mention, what were the Bills before Sean McDermott got there? They were awful. They were the laughingstock of the NFL. They did not make the playoffs since, like, I want to say the 90s. He took them back from irrelevancy. Imagine he could do that with another team. Once you get your quarterback, you can do that. I think he could do that with the Tennessee Titans. And then just look at what he did for the Bills when he was their head coach from 2017 to 2025. 98 regular season wins, which is the second most in the NFL. 8 postseason wins, which is the fifth most. And a point differential of 795, which is the third best. He is a great coach. It just needed time. Like, he didn't get over the hump of beating the Kansas City Chiefs and winning a Super Bowl when you had that good of a roster. So it said, all right, the Bills said, we love you. We think it was time. We need a new, fresh start. And I think that would be perfect for him, too. I'll say, it may be too late. The Titans may have locked in their chances and locked in Matt Nagy, but I don't see a pen to paper yet. I think with McDermott's resume, you have to bring him in for an interview just to see. Because now that that's open, he is a better candidate than a lot of these guys. Maybe not Robert Saleh, but better than Matt Nagy, 100%. Would you interview Sean McDermott? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. When the Titans do finally make a hire, we know we got you covered here on Titans Today. So don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now. And as always, tighten up.